How do you get kids to memorize God's Word? Welcome to Fresh Fridays. I'm Pastor Tony, and today we'll be looking at a fresh idea that you can use in your kids' ministry. Today I want to talk about the hope of Jesus. And one of the key aspects to helping a child understand the hope of Jesus is to understand His promises that come from His Word. And the best way to do that is to memorize it. Why? God's Word have I hid in my heart that I won't sin against Him. God's Word have I hid in my heart that I can grab a hold of His promises, that I can grab a hold of everything that He's got for me. But I've got to get it in my heart. I've got to memorize it. I've got to breathe it. I've got to live it. I've got to love it. So how do we get kids to do that? You know, it seems more and more churches are having a hard time, maybe your church is having a hard time getting your kids to memorize God's Word. Well, today I want to give you a couple fresh tips to help you out. First, let me encourage you with this. Prioritize it. Make sure that in your classroom time, you're making it important to memorize God's Word. If you don't set aside time for it, it's never going to happen. Make sure that it's important to you, it's important to your leaders, then it will become important to your kids. More important than even the fun and games and stuff, we want to make sure that it becomes a priority. Secondly, let's get creative with it. Let's have some fun. This isn't school. We don't want to sit there verbatim, A, B, C, D. We want to make sure that the kids are enjoying it as they learn it. When it's fun, they'll remember it. So how can you get creative with it? Well, turn it into a song. Put some actions to it. Maybe play some puzzles or games with it. Try to get creative in the way that they memorize it. Okay, all kinds of ideas out there. If you're looking for more ideas, check out your curriculum. There's a lot of ideas usually in there. Or go online, check out things on the internet. How can I get creative helping kids memorize God's Word? Here's a third thing I would encourage you to do. Have the kids use their Bibles, highlight their Bibles, mark their Bibles. I always love to see it when a child is sitting in the backseat of the car looking at the verse that they were memorizing. Now I understand there's different versions of the Bible. Do I care what version they memorize it in? No, I just care that they memorize it. And here's a fourth thing I would encourage you to do. Make sure you follow up with them. Reiterate the previous verses that you learned. And you can do that by having some kind of a challenge with the kids where, hey, who remembers last month or last week's verse? Okay, maybe give away prizes, whatever that is. I've got one teacher that I love working with that she simply puts the old verses up on the wall. They're up there for the kids to see. And every week she reiterates the verses they've been learning all year long. You see, to her, it's a priority. She wants to make sure they're understanding God's Word. So make it a priority. Have some fun, get creative with it. If possible, get them using their Bibles, and then finally reiterate it over and over again. And hopefully that first tip will help it so it's a little easier for the kids in your kids' ministry to memorize their Bible. Hey, this is Pastor Tony reminding you to keep your kids' ministry fresh.